This week's episode is brought to you by Salt Creek, some of the best steel and TSS on the market, and Kicks Industries. The Smoke Series is my favorite. Welcome back. Welcome back to this week's YouTube Live and the podcast. My name is RD. Welcome to the Waterfowl Den. Hopefully y'all have a great Wednesday and a great middle of the week. Got a special guest that showed up today. The world champion. The future world champion. Reynolds. So he's been practicing his goose calling and wood duck. He wanted everybody to be able to hear his calling skills that he's been working on. Maybe one day you'll be able to blow out a championship. Let's hear the goose first.
Goose.
That's not bad. I might have had the filter turned down, so in case you didn't hear that, I'm going to turn the filter off just in case it didn't go through. So now let's hear it again. It's not that bad. That's not bad at all. All right, let's hear the wood duck. It's almost turkey season. You need to be practicing turkey calls.
And crow.
Huh?
Crow.
Yeah, we can. The crow is to get them to gobble. So, I don't think you got the crow yet. Let's hear the crow. We got to practice more on the crow. All right, well, tell everybody.
Like and subscribe or there's going to be spiders in your bed.
Oh, my goodness. Like and subscribe or there's going to be spiders in your bed. I don't want no spiders in my bed, so y'all better be listening to them. So, welcome back to this week's YouTube Live. So, hopefully everybody's doing good. Springtime showed up and then said psych, and it's now back to wintertime. It's 30 degrees this morning. I think it actually got down to like 28 the night before, and we got at least 2 more days of 30, so it's going to be cool for about another 3-4 days, and then we're going to be back to normal spring weather. So that's either going to do one or two things for the turkey hunting. It's going to either help us out to make the turkey stay together, breed it up, not breed it up, but as a group, or it's going to make their attitudes change. But we're going to find out. Youth Day is 2 weeks away. But this weekend is the Palmetto State Armory's gathering event that goes on Friday and Saturday. It's going to be in Clinton, South Carolina. It's going to be at the Clinton Plantation in Clinton, South Carolina. If you ain't never been, it's a great event to attend. I'm going to be there Saturday, me and old Tony. So if y'all see one of us, just yell across, "What's your name?" And I'll punch Tony and make him say, "Tony." So hopefully if y'all out there, holler at us. But it's going to be a great event. I went last year and had a blast. Can't wait to get back. But we're going out there Saturday. But hopefully it's a good event. It's going to be really pretty weather this weekend. Yep, Gerald, I'm still going Saturday. We're going to get there about 9 o'clock. We plan to eat breakfast before we get there. Probably, I think we're going to eat breakfast in Chester, South Carolina. I know you be coming up from the Georgia side, so if you come on Saturday. But yeah, I'm planning on going Saturday. Me and Tony, we're going to be there. We're going to get our money's worth and eat something off of a food truck. Last year they had some really good food trucks out there. I base my hunting and my events on how my lunch and food and breakfast is. So, if it's a good breakfast and a good lunch, it's probably going to be a good day. But like I said, every year that event gets bigger and bigger and bigger. and it was massive last year. I don't know how many people were there. It would be hard to put a number on it, but it was massive. But yeah, we're going Saturday. Um, Probably be celebrating a birthday. Y'all can hold off on the presents, but if you wanted to get somebody a birthday present, I'm a size 2X and 12 gauge. Um, Also a 28 gauge. I won't discriminate on either one of them. So if anybody don't know what to get me for my birthday, 12 gauge shotgun shells, 28 gauge shotgun shells, 2X. What's up, Jay Bird? Man, is it cold down there in Georgia, y'all two fellas? I know y'all down there. Spring was coming, turned everything yellow, and then with these storms, turned everything cold. Talking about storms, something that rubbed me wrong, and I know it rubbed a lot of people wrong on the internet. So we're gonna talk about one of the things that rubbed me wrong was Monday. I had to think, was it Monday or Tuesday? Monday. They were talking about bad storms. 52 or 53 is a high. Yeah, it was pretty cool today. But what rubbed me wrong was they predicted really bad storms coming Monday, like tornadoes. The National Weather put out some pretty big numbers. The news people were talking it up. A lot of schools did some closing, and Monday come around, there was some bad storms. Charlotte had a EF0 tornado. I think one touchdown somewhere near the coast, or at least it indicated on radar, and I think somewhere else in North Carolina. A lot of bad wind. We had that night up to 40-mile-per-hour gust of wind. It was a bad storm. It could have been way worse. But what rubs me wrong is the people that got on Facebook and just railed on the news people. It was a bust. You can't predict the weather. Y'all couldn't get it right. We closed down school. You made me take a day off of work, and this is all we got. And that's sad. Like, that is sad that people were saying that it was a bust. Well, thank God it was a bust. Maybe all the people were praying that we didn't get the storms, and that's what kept the storms away. But it was unreal at the news, the weather forecast people that was coming out and saying, "Hey, sorry, I got it wrong. Don't be hating on us. We were just trying to predict what the models were showing." But it was crazy that people that was just calling it a bust. Like, I can see, I watch plenty of tornado chasers and stuff like that. I love weather. I love watching the weather. I love watching the chasers. Sometimes they get out in Oklahoma, Texas, and they'll be like, okay, it was a bust. Well, there's hundreds of thousands of acres of just cornfields. If it's a bust out there, okay, not that big of a deal. But you're talking Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and you're in parts of them. You were talking Charleston, Myrtle Beach, the Outer Banks, Charlotte, massive cities. If a tornado would have touched down, it would have been devastating. I just didn't get it. I don't know why people were so upset with the news and the weather channels for getting it wrong. They didn't get it wrong. The models were saying this is what's coming. The man above was the one that changed the weather. 100%. So that was my rant for today. That might not be the only rant, but who knows? uh, I don't know, Tony. If you listening, I'll respond back to that text in a little bit. But yeah, we're going Saturday. Can't be there Saturday. We got a big charity shoot at the club in Eberton. I'm not sure where that's at. I'm probably Georgia that I have to work for. Well, hey, big charity. That's something big there. So I can understand that. Who's ready for turkey season? Have y'all seen the prices of TSS? Like, let's have that discussion. Who is hunting with TSS this year for turkeys? Let's just say turkeys, not waterfowl. 100%, I will be hunting with TSS, regardless of the cost. Well, let's don't say regardless of the cost. Regardless of the current price, yes, I'm shooting TSS. Rather like that in September 24. Absolutely, Jay. I mean, y'all were without power for like a week. Like, who wants that? I don't get it. And it was unreal on social media. But who's shooting TSS this year? If I was a wise man, and they say that people with gray hair are wise, it's usually why you got gray hair. But if I was wise, I would have bought TSS 2 years ago, and I could have made quadruple my money back. Me, I probably would have loaded it all, and it would have all been in shells. But 2 years ago, if you follow the channel, 2 years ago, I was designing my own shotgun shell, and I still had the load data. I designed it, like came up with everything, the powder, tested it, pattern tested it, sent it off to the lab, let them do pressure test on it, and came up with a recipe. Uh, it was $40 a pound for TSS then. $40 a pound. It is $125 a pound right now. And you see people online right now selling 5 pounds. It is unreal, the prices. TSS is a game changer. If you never hunted with TSS, game changer. Now a lot of people is going to go say, "Hey, I'm not paying the price for TSS for turkey. I'm going to go shoot the Winchester XR Longbeard, which is a copper coated, amazing shell. 12 gauge, amazing. If I wasn't shooting TSS, that would be the only shell that I would use. But us sub gauge people, now I can say now I'm a sub gauge kind of guy. I got that 28 gauge now. I can say I'm a sub gauge kind of guy. Does that make me manly? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure how I want to take that, because I've talked so much junk about the sub gauge culture. Does that make me very manly? Because I said it for years that the 12 gauge is the Lord's gauge. Like, there is nothing better than the 12 gauge. Some might say the 10 gauge, but that's the God gauge. 10 gauge is superior. Like turkey load, oh my gosh, did you ever watch that video I did on the 10 gauge and TSS? 1,000+ pellets. 1,000 pellets. Woo. That's what your shoulder said after the trigger got pulled. No, it wasn't even it was like a Ric Flair kind of whoop whoop. The way that 10 gauge, boy, 1,000 pellets. I mean, the whole splatter thing just went. I mean, like at 40 yards, you didn't have to go down there and look at the splatter. You could see the splatter on the paper. It was unreal. So I guess I'm one of them sub gauge kind of guys now. So age starting to show. What's up, Mike Green? So I had to go buy some TSS for the 28 gauge. Right now, if you are planning to shoot TSS, straight TSS, there's blends out there. Salt Creek had blends 2 years ago, blending TSS and lead. Apex, I think, got some blends. Migra's got some blends. They all got some blends. But if you are starting to want to get ready for turkey season, TSS now in the store is going to be your best price, because what's on the shelf was last year's prices. The prices for TSS hasn't gone up in the store yet. I'm going to recommend you buy 2 boxes, one for next year, because it's probably going to go up. Now, a lot of people is going to say $60 for 1 box. Okay, let's think about it. Now, anybody in South Carolina, Georgia, possibly North Carolina, we only get like 2 birds. That's it. That's all you're going to get in a year. If you're lucky, you're going to get 2 birds. That's all the tags you get. Well, a box of shells comes with 5, so I recommend that you pattern test, regardless, 1 shell. Now, it's going to hurt to pattern test 1 shell because that's $12. But you're going to need to know what your shotgun's doing. That leaves you 4 shells. Well, that leaves you 2 shells for this year and 2 shells for next year. So in theory, that $60 is going to go a long way. And you know, it blows my mind, which doesn't take very much, but it blows my mind that we'll spend $1,000 plus on a shotgun, and you're going to say, I don't have $1,000 shotgun. Well, if you went out and bought the cheapest shotgun you can get, let's just say the bottom of the grade at Wally World, you still at like $700 nowadays, especially for semi-auto. So we're at $1,000 range for bargain brand semi-autos now. So we're going to spend $1,000 on that. We're going to spend $60 to $80 for, you know, a call. We're going to spend $60 to $120 for a leafy suit. We're going to spend another $80 for a vest or the new straps that had the seat made into it, the all-in-one. And we got to buy our tags. I think the tags were $25 this year. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was $25. What in the world is another $60 for TSS? Like, come on, y'all. Like, if we're going to spend that kind of money, and you're talking, let's take 12 gauge out. 12 gauge, I'm just going to rule out. We're not even talking 12 gauge. Because if you're shooting a 12 gauge, you can get the cheaper Winchester Longbeard, the copper one, and I'm telling you, that thing is legit lethal. But it is only lethal out to about 40, maybe 50 yards. TSS is a good 70 yards. And people are going to say, well, you shouldn't be shooting past that, and you need to get them in. We're going to talk a little facts about turkeys tonight. I have seen so many turkeys, and I ain't even been turkey hunting that long. I think this is like 6-year turkey hunting, maybe. I don't think it's the 7th. I think this is only my 6th year. I've seen so many turkeys get hung up. Like, hung up, I ain't coming no closer. Look around, see ya. You know when they doing this, they got the anxiousness, and they fixing the jet. They gone. It happens. Now, do you just say, well, I'll get him next week? Well, we only get, what, 5 weekends? We get 1 month, depending on how it falls. You basically get 4 weekends because the way it falls, one of them's Easter. So now you really only get 4 weekends. Are you going to say, well, I get them next week? What if next week there ain't no turkey? Or if you're hunting on public land, now you can't hunt on Sundays. So you basically got 4 weekends, 4 Saturdays. That TSS is a game changer. It will reach out there and slap that. So how many people have knocked a turkey down? I'm talking about knocked it down stone cold, woo, high-fiving, and the turkey gets up, reincarnated, and runs off. Happened last year to a buddy of ours. He said the turkey was stone cold on the ground, got up, shook his head off, took off running. Now, did it go somewhere else and die? Possibly. But those are tough birds. So I got some facts about turkeys. So the eastern turkey, that's what we have, the eastern, uh, is basically the heavyweight champ of all the gobblers. Like, it is the biggest. It is the most popular. It ranges from almost probably, I would say, Arkansas up and then down to the tip of Florida, somewhere around probably Miami up of Florida. When you get lower, you start getting into Miriam's. Yeah, no, no, that is not Miriam. Starts with the O. Anyway, you start getting into them into the swamps. But the eastern is the biggest. They range tom wise 18 to 25 pounds. A 25-pound bird is a big old bird. The ones that we typically see is between 18 and 20. That's usually what we see. The beards usually dragging the ground at that size. We measure turkeys by their spurs. The spurs kind of like what the chickens have. Uh, they grow. If you see a turkey that has a round nub, that means it's probably a Jake, or it could be a year old, maybe a year and a half. Uh, Usually past a year and a half, you will start getting some type of a point on the spur, possibly sometimes 1 year. And that's all depending on territory, where they're at, the habitat, when they were born. There's all kinds of scenarios in that. But now with South Carolina, uh, we can't shoot a Jake. So if the feathers are not all the way round and they got a 6-inch beard, now the beard sometimes get root rot. Sometimes they might have a spur. They're kind of like humans. They're kind of like men. You know, I'm 250, 6'2", and I can't grow a beard. Like, it may come out a little bit. I just not a just don't have a beard. Same way turkeys. Sometimes they grow long. Sometimes they get double beards, triple beards. Sometimes they drag them. Sometimes they walk on top of them. They get pulled out. Sometimes they get in fights and they come out. Sometimes they just rot, beard rot. So it's hard to go by just their beard. So if a turkey's up close enough, you can see the tail feathers and you can see the spur. If that sun gun looks like a gamecock with a big old spur on the back, you know you got something. You know he's legit. But the sun, when they hit them feathers on the eastern, it is so pretty. I mean, it looks like they have clear coat on top of them. Their eyesight during the hours that the sun is up, and I'm talking not right when the sun is breaking, but like sunrise to sunset, their eyesight is amazing. It's like 3 times better than a teenager. I'm not going to say 3 times better than mine because, you know, I'm at that point now that, is that a mosquito? Oh no, that was one of them floaters in my eyes. So 3 times better than a teenager. So their eyesight is amazing. They almost have nearly 360-degree eyesight, so they can see what is coming up behind them. Some people say if you're behind them, pretty much you got to get the tail feathers up, then you can move. But they have amazing eyesight. Their speed, they can move 20 to 25 miles per hour running. So when that head's up and they're looking around, you better be making your decision on, am I going to shoot or is it going to be gone? Because at 25 miles per hour, you're not pass shooting that turkey. I mean, it just the feathers are just too thick. It just probably ain't gonna happen. Uh, with that being said, how fast do you think a turkey can fly? Now, a turkey they're almost like a goose. If you ever seen a goose take off, a goose would be like, um, like a single engine jet airplane that you would take off. It's got to get a little runway, a little speed. A turkey is like one of them big old bombers that the military has, them big old four prop, big old, I don't even know what them, the ones that they put the tanks up in. That's what a turkey is. Yeah, they can fly. They can fly some distance because we all know that they go up into the trees to roost, but it takes them a little bit. They can jump. They can jump up if something's there. They can jump up and fly. In theory, I can jump. That's not my best performance, but I can jump. If I need to jump a ditch, I need a little running start. The Peterbilt needs a little bit of gear shifting before it can jump off over a creek. Same way a turkey is. A turkey can do that, but it prefers to have a little running speed before it takes off. But there's plenty of turkeys that have been seen flying over the rivers down at Watery. They can fly. They can fly up to 55 miles per hour. Small bursts. So they can fly and they can't get away from you. The gobbles, typically we only hear them in the spring. That's usually like a mating call. That's when they're usually talking to each other. The gobbles can, on a clear morning, can be heard up to a mile. And let me tell you, if you're hearing it, it's going to drive you crazy and you're going to want to go to it. Like it's got that kind of, I don't know. That's why I love goose hunting over any kind of waterfowl. Uh, the sound of a goose just honking, oh my goodness, it just gets your adrenaline pumping, kind of like a wood duck. A wood duck, you're just sitting there, and you hear a wood duck, and your eyes go up. The same way sometimes when you hear a pintail. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's how it is with turkey hunting. You can be out there right in the morning, right when the sun's fixing to come up, and you starting to hear them gobbles. It almost like you lose focus of what you're supposed to be doing. Like it's like, whoo, what's going on here? Let me run. And sometimes we go past the ones that were already there. But they got different turkey languages. They talk to the hens. They talk to each other. They got some clucks and purrs and moans and yelps and cuts. They make all kind of sentences. Typically, right now, they're all still together. In the next week or two, they're going to be starting to break apart. It could be next week. This temperature change definitely is going to affect them because that's going to play a key part into like bugs and critters and stuff like that. They are just like chickens. They eat a lot of bugs and a lot of critters on the ground. The cold is going to mess that up. It's definitely going to change some stuff around. But typically this time of the year is when you're going to hear the gobbles. That's when they're talking to the hens. They're trying to, they up in the trees and they're like, hey, hoo, where you at? Hey girl, let me get them digits. That's pretty much what they're doing. Come later on in the season, they kind of don't gobble as much. They don't gobble as much in the afternoons. And come summertime, you hardly ever hear them. So a hen can lay on average 10 to 12 eggs. Now that is 10 or 12 eggs, but they usually don't all make it. Something comes and robs the nest. Now there are some turkeys, some hens that will lay eggs and then leave the eggs. Like they are abandoning eggs, or they will find another hen who has eggs. They will lay their eggs there and then leave. I can't remember the term. If somebody remembers the term on what that's called, put it in the chat. But they will leave their eggs for another hen to take care of them. It has a name and I can't think of it. But a pullet is the baby turkey. As soon as they come out, their life is in danger. Like, if the raccoons ain't got the eggs, if the fire ants ain't got the eggs, if some other predator, a possum, or the hen getting up real quick trying to run, step on one, if they make it to a pullet, their chances of survival after that is even cut in half. They can walk and feed themselves after a few hours of being born. That is how quick they are ready to survive. I mean, turkeys are legit some of the toughest animals out there. Like, you don't see that with a chicken. Hey, Jeff, boy, we got some of your weather that showed up. Some of that Nebraska weather. It's cold here in South Carolina. It's going to be 30 degrees tonight. But turkeys, when they are hatched, they are fighting for their life because they can't get up in the trees like their mothers or fathers or anything else like that. So as soon as they are born, they are in survival mode. It is up to about 2 to 3 weeks before they can fly. So that first 2 weeks is do or die. I mean, that's pretty much it. So once they get old enough to fly, they do roost in tall trees. A lot of times you see them in big oaks, pine trees, stuff like that. They love to get on them up top. A lot of people call them swamp turkeys. Typically, turkeys like to get down into the where the creeks are, the river bottoms, the old swamps. That's why they call them swamp turkeys. They just like that kind of weather and conditions to live in. Um, let's see. Bigger birds, they usually have an inch to an inch and a half. Sometimes some people's I've seen up to an inch and 3/4 inch spurs. Now, once you start getting into other subspecies, that completely changes. We're only talking eastern turkeys tonight, and that's what we have. But opening weekend, like I said, this weekend is an event that I'm going to. Next weekend, not this weekend, but the next, which is, I think, the 28th. Want to make sure. The 28th. That is an event in South Carolina and Youth Turkey Day. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look it up, but I think Youth Day is the 28th and 29th. But I want to make sure before I say that. March, that's 2025. I need 2026. Come on, Google. We don't need no old dates. So 2026 Youth Day is March the 28th and May 9th. So only one day. So that is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So Youth Day is the first day of turkey season. But also the 28th, the 27th, 28th, and I think the 29th will be the Palmetto State Sportsman Classic in Columbia. It's going to be at the fairgrounds right behind the beautiful, oh my gosh, the beautiful Williams-Brice Stadium. I mean, when the sun comes up in the morning of South Carolina, it's almost like that. When the sun comes up, it just glows off of Williams-Brice Stadium, and you can hear them Gamecocks just whoo. It's a beautiful day in South Carolina. Just so y'all Tater fans know, that's where it's going to be at. It's on the state fairgrounds. South Carolina DNR, I don't think hosts it completely, but maybe it's their event and they have it with somebody else. But it is, if you ever went to the state fair, it looks like the state fair for hunting, fishing. If you are into deer hunting, turkey hunting, duck hunting, if you're looking for a boat, side by sides, lawnmowers, oh my gosh, the food. I don't even know how many vendors they got. If you ever been to the state fairground and you know where the Rocket is, all them buildings will be completely full of vendors. And I'm talking completely full. If you're looking to book a hunt with a vendor or a guide from wherever, they will be there. If you're looking for a side by side, they're going to be out there where the Rockets are. If you're looking for a boat and you can walk on pontoons, duck boats, ski boats, they're all going to be out there. There's going to be places that you could take your deer mounts. DNR will measure them, score them. It is an amazing event. If you've never been to the South Carolina State Sportsman, I highly recommend it. If I'm not mistaken, you can get a discount if you're, let me look it up just to make sure. I think it's called the Palmetto State Classic is what it is. They have a website. The Palmetto Sportsman Classic. Let's see if we can find discount tickets. Typically, I'm just going to say typically, and I don't see it, but usually Allstate, is it Allstate? No, it's not Allstate. It's Farm Bureau. I think it's Farm Bureau. Usually gives tickets to their insurance people. If you got Farm Bureau, let me see if they got anything on that. Farm Bureau members, policyholders can receive 2 free tickets for the 2026 Palmetto Sportsman. So if you are a Farm Bureau customer, talk to your whoever provider, reach out to them and see if you can get 2 tickets. I think general admission is only like $12 a person. So in theory, you're only saving $24, and I think it costs like $5-10 for parking. But regardless, I'm telling you, it's worth it. There will be so many turkey calls in there, so many. It will be slam packed. I will definitely be there. I am going that Saturday. I actually thought about getting a booth this year until I looked up the prices on the booth, and the booth was about $5,000, and I said, nope, can't afford that. So, yeah. So Jeff says Nebraska's on fire, 650,000 acres and still rolling through the sandhills. Wow, that's crazy. Jay says if you ever get a chance, National Turkey Foundation in Edgefield, South Carolina, something awesome to see. They have a sporting clay range. Yeah, I bet there are a lot of birds, Jeff, getting burned up. Probably a lot of pheasant and quail. Um, but yeah, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday, definitely go check out the Palmetto Sportsman Classic. They got a website. You can look it up. You can see all the vendors and everything like that. Great event. So, with that being said, early season is upon us. Like I said, next weekend is Youth Day. All the toms are grouped up right now. All the toms, the hens, they're all grouped up. In the upcoming weeks, either next week, it could be tomorrow, I don't know. This is where scouting comes in. They're going to go from grouped up to establishing their dominance. The Jakes are probably going to team up and beat up some toms, because it's pretty much going to be a pecking order. It's going to be, hey, the high school boys, well, let's don't say high school boys. The college boys just showed up on campus, and all the young girls are out there, and here comes an old man creeping in on them. The Jakes don't take that very lightly, and they run that tom off. Now, sometimes that tom can whoop their butt. You get the right tom, and he gonna take them Jakes on. But majority of the time, he gonna run off. So what happens is they go from being grouped up to establishing who is the dominant turkey. A lot of times, you'll see it in a lot of videos, you're going to see these Jakes, they see this hen or the decoy out in the field, and they're going to start running to it. Usually, the older or bigger bird is going to be at the back. That's going to be the strutter. It's kind of like one hot chick shows up, and all the young boys are going to try to run over there and be like, "Hey girl, how you doing? How you doing?" And the old wise one's going to come strolling up in the Corvette, and he going to roll up late. He going to be like, "Whoo, look at these guns right here. Look at my fan. Whoa." Like that. That's usually how it works out. Same way in turkey season. They show up. Usually the one at the end is going to be your dominant one. Now, it could be a dominant Jake. It could just be a dominant Tom. But usually the young hot-headed Jake usually is the first one that runs up. In theory, we used to just pop that first one, but now we can't shoot Jakes. So you got to wait. They roost at night. So if you're trying to scout them out, you can go afternoon scouting, watch where they are, watch where they fly up, and know where they're going to be in the morning. Because unless something knocks them out of the tree, or the tree limb breaks, or it's a full moon, they don't typically come off the roost. If something bumps them off, or if the wind blows them down, or tree limb breaks, they typically going to stay there until the morning time. There are photos of a man coyote hunting like 2 weeks ago, a turkey middle of the night, but it's a full moon, middle of the night, the turkey's just going across the field. He goes on, and 5 minutes later, a coyote is right on his tail, chasing him across that field. Now, the guy's coyote hunting, he takes out the coyote. It's all on film. I saw it on Facebook. It wasn't AI. Really cool photo or video. Jeff says yes, along with the grouse and the prairie chickens, turkey, mule deer. Yeah. Animals are really smart. And I'm going to talk about that at the very end tonight. Animals are really smart. They really can tell when weather's changing. Like, when the floods were coming, they were seeing all these bears going up the mountain. Like, nature is way smarter than us humans that have technology. But getting back to turkeys, we want to start off calling softly and then build our way up. Young, early season, the turkey, the male is going to have his females. Pretty much they're going to be roosted together. As soon as they fly down, he's going to go to that hen. Now, at the beginning of the season, he has one job, and it is young love. He's got to make babies. It's pretty much the only thing he's caring about at that point. He makes the babies. Usually from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock, the hen's like, okay, I'm done with you. She kind of runs away. She kind of gets on her own. That's when you can get them big toms. Early season. You got to get them away from that hen, and usually that's midday. Midday, they done did their morning deed, and he's just strutting around. You can call him in because he's like, oh, whoa, is that a new girl over there? Let me go check that out. Usually, that's when that happens. A lot of time, people who are run and gun turkey hunters, and there's nothing wrong with run and gun turkey hunters. I've been with Mike. Mike is 100% a run and gun type guy. Gets turkeys, gets to them. Nothing wrong with that style of hunting. One thing about run and guns that people show on camera, and it blows my mind, is if a turkey is on the limb, on the roost, and he comes down, he's with that hen, and you call, if they're here and you're here, if you call, chirp, 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 hey, I'm over here. He hears it, but he's with his hens. He does his deed. Now you move and you call over here, and y'all move a little bit more. He will cut back eventually to go here where that sound was. And there's so many people, they have the trail cameras. They call, they never get the turkey to come. They get up. You see them on the trail camera. They get up and they go, and then 20, 30, 40 minutes later, the tom walks right by their camera, right where they were calling. They are some of the smartest animals. They also have a brain the size of a pea, and they will drive every man who hunts them or lady who hunts them insanely crazy. There is something about a turkey hunter that maybe all our crayons are not there. If we got that kind of dedication to turkey hunt, we can put a grill together like with one screwdriver and 5,000 bolts, because that's how much patience we have because we turkey hunt. Mid-season, which we only get a month. This is peak breeding time. So we go from group duck to peak breeding. This is where everything is on the line here. The gobblers are locked down with them hens. You're going to really have to get them off that hen. And a lot of times, one or two things is going to happen. If she hears it, she's going to take that tom and take him that way, or she's going to say, there better not be another woman in my field, and she will bring the tom with her to go figure that out. One of the two things is going to happen. But midday hunts are key mid-season. Definitely learning their travel routes mid-season. This is where running guns got to be careful. Mid-season, especially game management. They already been hunted for like 2 weeks. At this point, they done got educated. The calling styles got to be realistic. They got to mimic a hen. So mid-season, that's usually when we done got frustrated. We ain't got one yet. This is where the patience comes in. Late season. This is almost the end of April for us. The season's about to go out. Many hens already started nesting full time. They already started preparing stuff. The toms are now all by themselves. They're alone. They could be in small groups again. The jates sometimes get back up. This is where changing your decoys and your style of calling can make a difference. But late season over calling could definitely mess up. Late season, the gobbles are way quieter. Like I said, Usually going into summertime, you never hear them. You don't hear them usually too much when you're deer hunting. You usually see the turkeys when you deer hunt, but you never heard them. Occasionally, you do hear them late duck season. Like when I say duck season, I'm talking like youth day, veterans hunt. You may start hearing them sometimes in late goose season, which is into January or going into February in mid-February. So sometimes you hear gobbles then. This is for South Carolina. So patience in late season. You want to be very aggressive early season, be really smart mid season, and be super patient late season. And I'm telling you that to also remind myself of these tactics, because I promise you, I will get outsmarted by a bird this year. Guarantee it. I've left some turkeys down there on game management where I've chased them daggone birds until I sound like I'm out of breath and need some oxygen. So it is almost upon us. Jeff says, my oldest daughter, 40, her dog went crazy and tore up her leg by 8 stitches. Ooh, I didn't think an English bulldog would do that. Glad it wasn't a grandkid. The oldest daughter went, tore her leg up. Ooh, that's not good at all. A guy at work just got bit by his dog also. And dogs have nasty bite. Their teeth, I mean, if you ain't watched a dog, they eat their own poop in the yard. So they don't have the cleanest teeth. So whenever a dog bites you, infection is a real thing. A cat bites you, that's a whole nother different thing. But man, his hand swole up. He had infection in his hand, and it was his own dog too, Jeff. Yeah, dog bites can you better take dog bites very seriously, because the infection on that is no joke. Our mailbox, our mail carrier just got attacked by a dog, and I saw him. He had blood all over his shirt, and, which he already got off shift. And I saw him at CVS, and he was getting antibiotics. And I said, "Yep, I bet you got you a nice tetanus shot in your booty." He was like, "Man, that thing hurt like crazy." He's like, "Yep." They don't take dog bites. They don't play that off. They take it very serious. So if you ever get bit by a dog, make sure you get some good antibiotics, because they got some nasty teeth. Like, you know, some of y'all be brushing the dog's teeth, and that's a good thing. But typically, the outside dog and the neighbor's dog and the dog running around in the woods, they ain't getting their teeth brushed. So, you ever get bit, make sure you clean your hands pretty good, because you're probably gonna need an antibiotic. But with that being said, not gonna stay on too long. We already been on 53 minutes. I do got a story that I do want to relate to turkey hunting, but just remember, this weekend is think the oh my goodness, who said I was having a senior moment? This weekend is the Palmetto State Armories, the Gathering. Tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, Clinton Plantation. You pay $50. You can pretty much put your hand on anything on the market right now. I mean, you name it, it will be there. And I promise you, that $50 that it costs you to get in is, if you don't get $50 in brass on the ground, you just, I don't know what you would have to be blind or something. I don't know. Next weekend, Youth Day, and the Palmetto State Sportsman Classic, whatever I called it. That will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the state fairgrounds. Highly recommend you go. Probably wouldn't go on a Sunday. Usually them vendors are there on Fridays and Saturdays. On Sunday, they're pretty much packed up. All the calls are done sold out. Saturday is really busy. Friday I hear is pretty busy too, but Saturday is definitely busy. Highly recommend you go to that. Highly recommend it. Love it. Oh man, there's so much camo there. You can pick up the leafy suits there. It is. I'm telling you, other than buying uh, a shotgun or buying some kind of gun itself, you can't buy that there. But ammo, turkey calls, duck calls, you name it, it's there. And I will definitely be there next Saturday. But closing out tonight, I want to relate into turkey season. And here lately, I've been, just pulling random verses. So tonight, I'm looking at Job chapter 12, 7 through 10. But ask the animals, and they will teach you. Are the birds in the sky, and they will teach you. Or speak to the earth, and it will teach you. Or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind. So I want to relate that to turkey hunting. It said, ask the animals and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky and they will tell you. In his hands is the life of every creature. So out in the woods, you start to notice things you miss in everyday life. I've said that 1,000 times. I am so much closer to God when I'm out in the woods. Like, I miss it. I love it. I love waking up so early and you hear nature come alive. When you're out there, let's just say sunrise is at 6:30. You get there a little bit before 6, it is quiet. Like maybe a frog, maybe a cricket. But once that sun starts coming up, you will hear one bird, you're going to hear another bird, and then you're going to hear gobbles, and then you're going to hear squirrels moving around, and then you're going to hear geese flying. Like, it is unreal how many times I missed that Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, hurry up, let's get dressed, let's get the teeth brushed, let's get the kids out to school, let's get them, let's go, gotta go to work. I missed that. I see the sun come up pretty much every morning on my way to school. It don't hit the same. Like a gobbler sounding off at first light, birds waking up the forest, the wind moving through the trees like it's something to say. So Job reminds us that the creation isn't random. It's a teacher. Every track that's in the dirt, every feather, every sunrise point back to God's hand. The same God who created the turkey that we're going to be chasing next month, the one that is holding your life too. Nothing in the woods exists outside his care, and that includes us. And that includes you. So next time you're sitting still, waiting, listening, remember, you're not just hunting, you're learning. So slow down, look around. Creation is speaking. Make sure you're listening. If you're out there hunting and if you're calling, you're using a pot call and you're making a call, turkey's coming, and that turkey stops and turns around, you just learned the value of a moment. You won't do that again. If you stand up, well, I didn't see no turkey, I'm going home, and you stand up and there was a whole bunch of turkeys and they take off running, you're going to be like, well, I ain't going to do that again. Deer hunting, same thing. Man, I left my clothes somewhere over here. Now they got that smell on them, and they just, whatever. Deer smell it. I ain't going to do that no more. Nature will teach us so much. We are out there learning. Also learn about the Creator. Spend that time to get away. Every morning, Jesus, when he was on this earth, he would go and have a separate moment to himself. That's where he would go and pray and be alone. So this turkey season, take it all in. Just enjoy it. Let nature and God talk to you while you're out there. So until then, I'll see y'all next time. Next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate all y'all tuning in on the podcast on Spotify and stuff like that. Got a couple videos coming out. I hadn't had a whole lot of time. Soccer practice kicked off. Been doing a lot of stuff with the 28 gauge. It's been crazy. And we got events to go to, and turkey season's coming up. So, just get on board. Let's have fun. And we'll see y'all next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And I appreciate every single one of you. Y'all be safe. And here's a word from our sponsors. And I'll see y'all next time. Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors, shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service LLC prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service LLC.